On Barry Charles' Footy Show tonight, Nathan Cleary, the GOAT. Nico Hines is back to his brilliant best. Is he going to lead the Sharks to a premiership? The Panthers from last, all the way to a title. The five-peat's happening. Canberra Raiders choked, and Ricky Stewart made a mistake by not resting the players a week earlier than what he did. And Serraldo has come up with the worst buy of the year, Lachlan Galvin, and the mistakes he made in terms of who he played in positions. We're going to talk about this and more right here, right now, at Barry Charles Footy Show. Welcome back, guys and gals, to the channel. Yes, Nathan Cleary, is he the GOAT? The answer is hell to the no. He's the GOAT in one way. He is the GOAT outside of the 11 year in a row premiership for the St. George Dragons, which is, most of us have not even seen the game, so we can't even compare. So that's hard to say. But in terms of a salary cap era, he is the GOAT club player. He is better than Cameron Smith. Absolutely, he's better than Cameron Smith in terms of club. But when you look at their next level, Queensland, Australia, absolute GOAT is Cameron Smith there. Absolute GOAT. I don't care you say about Wally, you say about Andrew Johns. In terms of winning titles, Cameron Smith got it done at that level. Nathan Cleary hasn't, and he's had a team good enough to be maybe not quite at the Queensland level, but should be winning more of these competitions, but they can keep selecting the wrong players. So Cleary has to go to that next level in Origin, and he needs to do it about 3 times for me to say he is a GOAT in the conversation of the greatest of all time. He is the greatest of all time, I believe, right now as a club player. Absolutely, no doubt about it. Winning 4 premierships being the key to winning at least 2 of them. I reckon he was nearly man to mention 2 of them. He was definitely in 1, but he could have been in 2. But it's overall consistency, and if he continues on this, he will go past, because Cam Smith was consistent and had all these games, but it's winning premierships at the end of the day. That's what I look at it. Boom. You could be the greatest player of all time, but if you're playing in the worst team, you're not going to win premierships. So Cleary, to me, is the GOAT of clubland, but yet to prove he is the GOAT of all time in terms of the representative level. He needs to do that. He needs to smash an Origin series. He needs to do 3 in a row. Then you can start saying, is he better than Cameron Smith and Andrew Johns and the likes? That's where you got to go to. But yeah, right now, he's still up there. You could still say Cameron Smith, Cooper Cronk, in terms of and let's be completely honest with you. Andrew Johns is the best player I think you'll ever see. But the drugs, all their rubbish, he wasn't consistent enough. And yes, he probably played on a team that wasn't that strong either in Newcastle at times. But again, he was not consistently good like Nathan Cleary, even Cooper Cronk, and the likes that are starting to come up in the ranks. That's the difference. Johns has the ability, like you could add probably Sean Johnson to this list, Benji Marshall. These guys had talent out there. There's Anthony Mundine you could add to this list. Chris Sando you could probably add to this list. But the question mark is, did they have the work ethic, or did they have the ability to play within the structure? Cooper Cronk definitely did. There's players that played the structure well, but the off-the-cuff players like Andrew Johns and the likes, Cliffy Lyons, I mean, there's so many to add. Cameron Munster's another one, off-the-cuff type of player. They're very good players, but they don't win the premiership because the other players around them aren't able to handle what they do, and that's the difference. It's a hard one to say. Like, if you go on premierships, Cleary all day. But if you're going on pure talent, Andrew Johns is the best. This is hands down, he's the best player ever to play the game. In terms of what he could do on the football field, it was just ridiculous. But and Sean Johnson and Benji Marshall weren't far away. Don't get me wrong. But in terms of a team and leading the team to a premiership, that was the thing of Thurston as well. Same thing. Winning multiple premierships in a row. It's hardly been done, and Cleary has proven to do that. So that's where the debate is between that. Nicho Hynes, is he going to help the Sharks to a grand final? Now, people are saying they're in red hot form, everything else. Noah Black, I thought Noah Black was going to be the missing piece. He is potentially the missing piece if Nicho Hynes can keep playing top levels. But I don't know if he's been playing top level, but the props were playing brilliant last week. The defence of the Sharks. Melbourne Storm have not been convincing all year. The Sharks have been quietly under the radar. They've been doing okay, but just haven't been winning. But now they've started to hit form at the right time. But the question mark will be in this big game, will Nicho Hynes step up? And I got debates if he will. He has yet to prove he will do it in the big games. He needs to deliver. If he can deliver, well, good on him. Confidence will be high, so there's a chance that he can deliver. But I just don't know. But then the nagging thing for the Storm is that they've had injuries, and that's the question mark on the Storm. You've got Ryan Pappenhausen come back from concussion, and he's been in and out of the team. Jerome Hughes has been injured, and he's going to be playing injured if he plays. I mean, Tyron Wishart will go back to the bench. He's been playing everywhere. Munster's had his family tragedies, but it would be great for him to win a thing. But yeah, there's question marks all around this game. I think the Storm would win, but I've got no convincing on it. But let's get to the Canberra Raiders. Yes, the Canberra Raiders absolutely choked themselves to oblivion, folks. Absolutely choked. Ricky Stewart made the mistake by resting the players in the final round. Absolutely wrong time. Do it the week before, and that's what proven by Penrith and the Storm. They did it the week before. I know they want to win the minor premiership and all that, but at the end of the day, you're here to win the premiership, not the minor premiership. And again, you could be the greatest team of the year, but not win the whole thing, and that's what's proven to be for the Canberra Raiders. Jamal Fogarty struggled. The defence struggled out wide. At the end of the day, defence wins competitions, and Canberra Raiders' defence was not up to it in the big games, and that's what has been proven. You can't score 40 points every week to win games because the top teams will beat you, and that's what's happened for the Canberra Raiders. And they got some of the top teams to finish their campaign. So, disappointing for them. Ricky Stewart should learn from that, but again, Ricky Stewart was it a one-year bubble, like some teams get, one-year bubble when they fly high and play better than what they were, and then they drop back to the field. And pretty much the Raiders' first finals game, they should have won. They put the fingers in the rack when Reece Walsh came back on, and Reece Walsh played a masterclass. But they stopped attacking Canberra Raiders and tried to do what the Broncos did in the 2023 grand final. So, interesting to see how they, but Ricky Stewart has some work to do. And finally, yes, the Bulldogs, Serraldo. What's happening right there, right now, is absolutely lunacy. Absolute no gumption. I mean, you could say he's actually got gumption because he's saying he did nothing wrong. But at the end of the day, you were at the top of the ladder. You fell off the cliff. You went bang, bang. And putting Galvin at 7 was a big mistake. He could be proven right or he could be proven wrong. But at the end of the day, right here, right now, it's proven wrong. Galvin should have been 6. But the question mark is where do you put Burden as his centre full time? I think potentially yes. Could Burden do anything? Could he be fullback? That's the question mark. Can Burden play fullback? If he's good enough to play fullback, he could do the Reece Walsh thing and do the big kicks and that. That's another question mark they've got to decide. Cause I think they need to make the change. Him or Crichton, whoever they think is the fullback out of those two, or they've got someone else, and those two play centre, that's fine. But yeah, question mark with Matt Burden not playing centre much. It was hard for him to defend. But yeah, getting back to Sexton and the likes here of Green Money and Sexton. I agree Sexton probably wouldn't have won him the comp either, even if he was playing. But the disharmony in the team would have been what was infecting him. And I think that's what's really... Do I think they would have won the grand final? No. I think they probably would have got the preliminary final if they didn't muck around with the team. I mean, if they wanted Galvin in the team, he had to play 6. And basically, that meant Burton had to move to centre. That's how they had to do it. They put Crichton fullback, whatever you want to do. That's what they should have done. If they wanted to really have a crack at winning the premiership this year, they should have known Galvin was not going to jump into that 7 role. If he could be a 7 in a couple of years, who knows? I think right now he's a 6. They should have kept him at 6. Just let Sexton do his thing, and they probably would have been in the preliminary final. I don't think they would have won it with them. It's proven, if you look at who's going to be in the grand final, you're the best of the best in the game. Cleary is the best of the best in the game. Jerome Hughes is the best New Zealander in the game. And Reynolds and Ben Hunt, they've had the luxury of having 2 senior players, but there's question marks over them. Will they deliver in the big pressure moments? This is what Penrith are raging hot favourites to beat the Broncos, I think. And then the Sharks hides a question mark. There's no question marks over Penrith. Penrith are red hot shot favourites to win from here. Absolutely, the red hot shot favourites. But in terms of Bulldog season, it was a good season. It could have been another week longer, I believe. But they just ran out of gas. They needed to rest the players when they had the opportunity as well. It was madness from them not to rest players. They were trying to get up high, up in the ladder. They thought they weren't playing well enough, so they needed. But they really needed to rest their players. It looked like they were tired and they ran out of gas in the big game. And that's pretty much what happened. They were never up to the Panthers standard going into the final round. But anyway, that is Barry Charles Footy Show for this episode. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll be back with another video soon.